Welcome back, Super Friends. Today we are going to do some more division that will require us to do our long division. It will also have a remainder in our answer. So today what you'll need is your math notebook or folder, a pencil to write with, and don't forget that super brain of yours. Stay tuned for the video. All right, Super Friends. So we are going to continue practicing with our long division with our two-digit divisors. This time we are going to have remainders in our answer. So I'll show you how to divide this and write your answer. It's a little different than when we would have long division without any remainders. So of course, like always, what we do is we get started with our house. Remember, my house looks like this. The dividend is the bigger number. It goes inside the house. The divisor is the smaller number. It's visiting the house. So let's go ahead and write our dividend inside and then our divisor outside. Remember, the way that I show you that works the best is we're going to get our multiples first for our dividers, our divisor. That way it will be easier for us to start our division. So 51 times 1 is 51. If I double that, that would be 102. If I add 51 to that, that's going to give me 153. So that goes here. If I add 51 to that, that will give me the group 204. If I add 51 to that, that will give me 255. So I'm going to write 255 right here. I'm going to keep going. Remember, I'm just adding up. That's all that I'm really doing. This will give me 306. And I'm going to keep going until I get something close to that 397 that we have inside the house, because I know that that's what we're basically trying to divide out. So add another 51. That gives me 357. So this I'm going to have to get creative with. 357. Okay, next one. Add 51. This is probably our last one I'm going to add, because I can already tell it's going to give me over that 397 that I have here. Okay, awesome. Now, in order for me to remember each of these factors, I'm going to underline them. These are the ones that we're looking at, just so that we don't get confused when we're like, oh, what do we look at for our multiples? All right, so I underlined them. Now let's get started. How many 51s can I get out of the number 3? Obviously, none. So I put my 0 here, multiply it out. 0 times 51 is 0. Subtract 3 minus 0. That is 3. Bring down my 9. Can I get any 51s out of the number 39? Unfortunately, we cannot. So multiply again. 0 times 51 is 0. Subtract it out. I'm still left with 39. Bring down the 7. So now I have to see what multiple here gives me something close to 397, if not 397. So looking at it, the highest thing that we can go to is this 357. That 357. Let's count which factor that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's my 7th factor. 7 times 51, we just saw it's 357. Subtract it out. What do I get? I get a remainder of 40. There's nothing else for us to bring down, so this answer goes up with our 7. So it's going to be 7 remainder 40. That's our final answer here. 7 remainder 40. When you do this, I always put them all together, and I leave no space. So when you're doing your problems attached to this lesson, you're going to put it in all together with no spaces. The R doesn't have to be capitalized if you don't want it to be, but if you do, you would just type 7 capital R 40. That's how you put in your answer. All right, so let's look at the next example. Okay, this one's a little bit bigger. So we have our 3,211 divided by 88. Let me go ahead and get my house ready. That's probably too big of a house. Get my house ready. So inside, I have my 3,211. Outside, I have my 88. Then let's do my multiples. I will try to stay very organized because I know these multiples are going to be a lot of adding for me. So obviously 88 times 1 is 88. And then if I double that, what am I going to get? Plus 88, 16, regroup, 17. So it's 176 plus 88 again. That's going to be 14, regroup, 16, regroup, 27. So I have 264. Again, 88, 12, regroup. That is going to be 17 plus 8 is 15. Regroup, 352. So 352. I'm going to keep going. Let me do one more. Plus 88. All right, so I have 0, regroup, 6, that's 14, regroup, 4. So then this last one is 440. All right, I'll keep it here. If we need to continue, we know how. We'll just add another 88 to that 44, or that 440, and we'll go from there. So let's start. So now I have 88. How many times can I go into the number 3? Obviously, 0 times. So if we multiply it, we get 0. Subtract it out. We are left with our 3. Bring down the 2. How many 88s can I get out of 32? 0, because 88 is bigger. 88 times 0 is 0. Subtract it out again. Bring down the 1. Now, what's my highest multiple that I can get that's going to get me close to 321? The highest one that I have here is that 264. And that is the 1, 2, 3, the third multiple. So now I'm doing 88 times 3. That equals 264. Let's subtract it out. I have to borrow. This turns to 1. This is an 11. So that is going to give me 7. 1 minus 6, I can't do that. Borrow again. Turns to a 2. This is an 11 again. Now 11 minus 6 is 5. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. So now I'm left with 57. So I am going to bring down the next number, that 1, because I need to see how many 88s can I get out of the 571. Again, you see how we have to keep adding because we can get some more out of this. The highest number that we have here is the 440. That's not going to work for us. So let's go ahead and add another 88 and see what we get. Regroup, 528. So far we have a 528 here. And then we'll do one more to see what we get. Plus 88, 16, regroup, 11, regroup, 6. Okay, so that's 616. Okay, so now what's our highest number that we can get that will give us close to 571? Obviously, it's going to be our 528. Which factor is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's our 6th factor. So 6 times 88 is 528. Subtract it out. 1 minus 8 we cannot do. Let's borrow from the 7. That turns to a 6. This 1 turns into an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then 5 minus 5 is 0. There's nothing else to bring down, so this 43 is our remainder. So again, I bring this up. My answer is 36, remainder 43. This is my answer. I will rewrite it. 36, remainder 43. That is how we get our answer. So obviously, like any other skill that we've learned, the more we do it, the more we practice, the better we'll get. So this is just our 2 examples that we have to work with. Use these steps to go ahead and solve the rest of your questions for today.